Hi, everyone. I'm Rosemary Miller here with Emily Baker White, a technology reporter and senior writer here at Forbes. Thank you so much for joining me, Emily.
Thank you.
Emily, so you have an article titled The FBI and the Department of Justice are investigating ByteDance's use of TikTok to spy on journalists. Could you just give me a backstory of what happened here?
Yeah, so this is a saga that began in October 2022 when, well, sort of began even beyond that. This past summer, I wrote a big story about TikTok based on a lot of hours of leaked audio recordings. And TikTok and its parent company, ByteDance, were really freaked out by the fact that so much information had leaked to me. And they started an investigation to try to figure out who was talking to me and who was leaking to me from inside the company. In October, I learned that TikTok and ByteDance had actually sought to use information from my personal TikTok account in order to figure out where I was. So they were pulling my IP address from my TikTok account in order to try to figure out a vague approximation of my location and then to match that IP address to IP addresses of their own employees' devices on the theory that if I was meeting a source in a coffee shop or a library or something, and both my device and the source's device pinged from the same IP address, they would know who was talking to me. Now, they say they didn't actually find any sources this way, but what they did do by pulling my data was show that US user data is still, or was still at the time that this information was pulled, available to employees not only of TikTok, but of TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, and to people who are based in China. And that raised a lot of concerns among US lawmakers who fear that if US user data is accessible to those people in China, those people could be forced by the Chinese government to turn it over in ways that could actually endanger people.
Wow. Emily, I want to go back a little bit. What actually prompted you to start investigating TikTok initially?
So my first story about TikTok was a little over a year ago now, and it looked at TikTok's data practices and an initiative that they call Project Texas. And Project Texas was this sort of big bet project within TikTok to sequester US user data and limit access to it to mostly just a US based team. And this was a really ambitious project, and it was meant to address the national security concerns that the Trump administration had raised a few years back. But it turns out that separating out US TikTok from the global TikTok was really hard to do because TikTok is just another app built on ByteDance's software. It was just another product of this company, ByteDance. And like any app of its size, like a Facebook or a Google, there are dozens and dozens of internal tools that send data around all the time. And those aren't nefarious. They're what powers the monetization dashboard over here and some like analytics suite over there. And if you were to just cut off all the access to those tools, lots of things in the app would break. Like it wouldn't be good for regular users of TikTok. But the fact that all of that data is flowing in all these ways all the time in the back end of TikTok meant that it's actually really hard to make sure that US user data stays limited to that small group of US employees.